Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Blazik, lead cover artist for Axiom Systems wrestling RPG called Upper Hand Wrestling. We are excited to talk to you guys about it, and I thought who better to bring in than the lead game designer, Zachariah Van Sliders. Shaving on... Why are you shaving?
Bow down to the king of kings.
You are definitely not the game.
The game, Triple H.
Nope.
The cerebral assassin.
This is just stupid.
When Zachariah called me up and asked me to help him with his wrestling RPG, I had to take him up on it. Steph and the kids can be a bit much since my retirement, if you know what I mean.
Why are you doing this to me, dude?
Upper Hand is a fast-paced, card-based RPG that allows you to experience heart-pounding, moment-to-moment action inside the square circle without having to deal with the dipshits. I'm talking about you, Rock! We also designed an all-play system which allows players to experience the game from both sides of the coin, playing and game mastering.
And what is that supposed to be?
It's my 20-pound sledge. So, grab a copy of Upper Hand on Axiom System Wrestling RPG, coming out on the 6th from Axiom Games, LLC. You can pick it up at drive-thru games at drivethrurpg.com, and don't click the hyperlink, because we don't have enough money for a hyperlink. And if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Hello.
I'm going to I'm gonna apologize just in case ahead of time.
Okay.
Pretty sure I get food poisoning on Friday. This is
funny. This is funny. Keep going.
I've been having a time. Like no exaggeration. So, I guess it's my fault. Friday night, we went to dinner with Kayla's dad and brother before we went to go to a football game.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to this Chinese restaurant. And this Chinese restaurant, there were like red flags right when you open the door. Like, it almost looked like the tables had like cigarette burn marks on them. It wasn't, because you know, like how sometimes with like Chinese buffets, they look run down, but the food is really good.
Right.
This was one of those that looked run down in a bad way, and I still chose to eat there. And also decided to get the sushi that was there because nobody else got the sushi. I was the only one who had the sushi, and I am the only one who has been suffering as of late. Saturday night, I had like a fever. Like, my abdomen is physically in pain. You can use your imagination for the rest of it.
That sounds definitely like food poisoning.
Oh yeah, it's not great. It's super not great. I should be good. I think I'm through the worst of it. Last night was terrible. I had a fever of like 100 in the middle of the night, constant chills and sweats.
That'll do it to you. It'll do it to you.
Yeah, I every hour on the hour woke up, and then even throughout the course of the day today, I was not having a good time. So yeah, if I have to like escape, you won't even hear me say anything. Probably you'll just see me just dart away.
So this is very funny because I was gonna say the same thing to you, not about food poisoning, but basically, so I've been going to the doctor for a myriad of health things that I'm trying to resolve.
Yeah.
The doctor prescribed me on Tuesday with this new acid reducer drug thing, because they think that might be the source of my chest pains. Well, he's not sure. He doesn't think it's that, but he wants to eliminate it as a possibility.
Right.
That it's like perpetual acid reflux. So I get this pill Wednesday night. Is when I get it. It's the earliest I could get it. I take one Wednesday night. Thursday I'm all right. Thursday night, I take a weird heavy poop right before going to bed, right? Mm-hmm. Since then, I have been shitting 4 times an hour, nonstop, like every time. We recorded Prelude this morning. Yeah. And literally, like, it would be like I would be watching the clock for the 20 minutes so that I could end the episode because I had to shit. Every time. It was terrible. And what's worse is it's covered in acid, so it's like my hemorrhoids go crazy, my whole ass is on fire. So like I may at any point in time have to run away to take a poop as well.
This is gonna be great.
Yeah.
We're gonna run long strictly from the shitting.
The one with the poops. The one with the poops. Yes. Yes. Man, if this gets used as a bonus or an opening, how many subscribers do you think we'll lose?
I think about all of them.
So use it. Use it.
I don't know what happened. Just one day I turned it on and they started talking about shitting. I don't know what happened.
These guys are just daring us to not listen to them.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. You, dear listener, have decided for whatever reason to tune into another horrible gaming podcast. I am not alone, and mostly I'm never alone. With me is
Neil, a.k.a. a Tiny Wizard.
Now, we're going to talk about some game stuff today, some video game stuff. But before we do, I do have a little message for everybody out there. Specifically the people who signed on. So, if you've been following the channel, you have watched it on Friday. We did an audio narration of a solo playthrough of a tabletop RPG that this guy named Wizard's Respite is doing. I did the audio narration kind of on a whim. I sent it to him. He really loved it. So we're going to be posting those here on Fridays from now on. I think he's got the whole first playthrough that he has is 8 chapters. So that is what we're going to do. I'm doing them ahead of time now, so they'll go up with his. We might actually start posting them on Thursday, though. Just keep that in mind because we kind of got to merge schedules now because he was posting it on Wednesday. I can't really do that because of the podcast. But I was posting it on Friday, so we're probably going to do it on Thursday. That being said, if you are one of the people who has subscribed to this channel because of that playthrough, because that thing got like 40 views already since we're recording this. We recorded it on Sunday. I appreciate you subscribing. I want you to stick around. We are doing a little bit more TTRPG stuff. We are kind of a gaming channel on the regs. One of the things that has gotten me into the TTRPG space is I wrote a game, and I also have a gaming company called Axiom Games LLC, a TTRPG gaming company. So you can step over and sign up to that YouTube if you want, but stick around here. We're going to do gaming mostly, but we actually have a live playthrough of that TTRPG, which is a wrestling RPG, which we're going to plug at the end of the show too. And we will continue to post Wizard's Respite's narrations on Thursdays from now on. So stick around for that content. And if you are also a crossover person with gaming and whatnot, stick around and listen to the rest of this podcast, listen to everything we have to offer. I will say, we swear a lot more than Wizard's Respite does. Be prepared for that.
Depending on what gets used for an opening, you'll know that already.
You'll know that already. But depending on what Wizard's Respite does, what you enjoy, we do curse a lot. So just prepare yourself for that. All right. So before we get into this, with that out of the way, we got to thank the people who made this possible. Behind our ugly mugs, you're seeing a custom graphic that was supplied to us by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. And the theme song for this show and all shows here at OMG are provided by the man who makes the music, my brother Nick Van Sliders. We thank him for that. And we'll be right back with fan interaction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to our most important segment, our first segment. That is fan interaction. That's where we, the co-hosts, talk to you guys, the fans, on all the things that you write into us. You comment on YouTube. Sometimes you comment on Discord. We try to read them all as much as humanly possible. So we go through them. We read them. We talk about them. Let's do it. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to start. We got Jason. I have never heard of this food you're talking about. What food were we talking about? Do you remember? I think, unfortunately, we are also constricted by our terrible memories.
I can't.
What food were we talking about? Oh, Swenson's. Swenson's. It's an Ohio thing, Jason. You're not in Ohio, man. I know you're not in Ohio. It's an Ohio thing. It's like an Ohio regional fast food chain.
It's like Sonic, but not good.
I swear to God, I'm going to end this fucking podcast. I'm going to get my fucking car. I'm going to drive through the night to your house, and I'm going to slap the taste out of your mouth. I went and had Swenson's. We had Swenson's Friday night because we had the podcast, and I was like, maybe I'm wrong. And then I was like, no, Neil's a fucking idiot. This shit is delicious. He's out of his mind. You need to, here's the thing. You need to go to Swenson's without your microaggression boss, like, all up in your shit about what a galley boy is and not. I mean, dude, I got fried zucchini and fried mushrooms from a fast food place. You don't get that at fast food places.
You can get, there's a regional sub shop around here called Sandwich Factory. They have fried zucchini and fried mushrooms, too.
That's not a fast food restaurant.
Oh, what are you talking about?
It's a delicatessen. It's a delicatessen.
It's fast food.
It's not fast food.
And shit. You don't have to.
Fries doesn't equal fast food, you fucking weirdo.
You get like a 16-inch sub.
No.
Of like whatever kind you want. And
do you consider Subway fast food?
Yeah.
You're fucking no. I can't continue this conversation with you. All right, let's move on. I don't have the time or the effort to put into this conversation.
Like, comment, and subscribe if Subway is fast food.
Okay. Jason continues. I actually like how Sims 4 does its breakdown compared to the previous iterations. Used to be, they'd have expansion packs, parentheses, new game mechanics and places, and stuff packs, items and clothes. Sims 4 split the expansion packs. The Sims 2, you'd have nightlife that adds downtown, vampires, and things. While Sims 4, if you want the vampires but don't care about downtown, that's its own pack, and vice versa. And I don't believe they're making all packs free either. They might throw in a couple, but I'd be very surprised if they put all the packs in for free. I would be surprised if they put all the packs in for free. I think they've got to do something like a Destiny thing where, like, there's a certain amount of years or time. There's a certain amount of time between its release before it becomes free. You know what I mean? Like 4 years and older, it becomes free. Boom. And then, like, the newer stuff, you still got to pay for, you know? Yeah. Did you talk to Kayla about that? What'd she...
Yeah, I don't know, she relies pretty heavily on mods, too, so... I mean, it's one of those things to where it seems like it's not really, like... It's kind of a whatever sort of situation.
She's not as upset with it as you thought she was going to be?
I didn't think so, no.
Oh, you said last week she was going to be upset, definitely.
I thought so, yeah. I thought she was going to be absolutely livid.
Interesting. Farming Simulator 2023, the Zombie Apocalypse Edition. That would actually make an interesting farming simulator. If, like, half of it was planting crops while the other half was managing, like, where you're planting crops so that zombies don't eat your people, you know? Mm-hmm. Then again, honestly, it's kind of State of Decay 2. I mean, there's no farming simulation in State of Decay 2, but it's the same basic principles. Let me see. Continuing on. Asylum 66. I was here when Neil leveled up his wizardry. I believe he means when you manage to turn invisible with the use of my book.
Yes.
Yes. Grounded, Jason, Grounded comes out for real in less than a week. I am aware it does. I might jump back into it at that point. I have no idea. Things have been relatively busy for me lately. Moving on. Jason, I ain't seen Cobra Kai. The Avatar General ain't Raul Julia like no. He's dull and dumb. The Avatar General ain't Raul Julia like no. He's dull and dumb. I don't understand that sentence. Maybe M. Bison, because Raul Julia was M. Bison?
I don't know. I know we were talking about Avatar and everything.
We were talking about... Oh, the Avatar ain't Raul Julia. Like, no, he's dull and dumb. Look, I'm sorry, man. That Avatar General is cool as hell. I disagree wholeheartedly with you, Jason. He's so far beyond cliche. He's cool as shit. I'm sorry. I very rarely say this, but emphatically, one of you is wrong on this particular thing, and that's you, Jason. I'm sorry. I can't agree. That general is freaking hysterical. He then says, and I will admit my sense of aesthetics and art is twisted, like Silent Hill 2 is the most beautiful love story. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. That has some twist to it. Then Jason continued, Visage is leaving Game Pass, so I'm going to have to stop bugging Zach about it, since I refuse to insist someone play a game they'd have to pay for, even if I'm joking. A sad day that will be. Well, for you, it will be sad. For me, it will be the day that somebody stops bothering me to play a horror game, which is a great day. Guys, gals out there, I'm never going to play a horror game. It's just not going to happen.
I
don't
think
like
you should
horror
play
games.
like 10 minutes of Dead Space.
I don't think I should.
I'm telling you, it's one of the best games
Look,
I've ever played, and I hate spooky shit.
Games are fun. Games are for fun. They're for your entertainment. I am not entertained with spooky horror shit. I'm not. I'm just not. Especially not body dysmorphia or any of that shit. No, I don't want that in my games. I'm not saying it's bad. Everybody has their tastes. Everybody can enjoy it. It's not mine. It's just not. Moving on. William Hohen. Hi! Exclamation point. Gosh, YouTube sucks with comments. Glad I'm doing the backup thing on your Discord. This one made it through, Will, just so you know. Assassin's Black Flag noted. Another game going into the backlog. Like I said, it's still an Assassin's Creed game. It really is. But the pirate mechanics work perfectly with the Assassin's Creed mechanics. So as long as you're just doing the pirate mechanics, it's really fun. I never finished the game, but I just sailed around being a pirate. As for my negative attitude, I mean, I so wish I would be wrong, but I know I'm not. So, GameStop will soon be called GameStop. Babylon's Fall ending. At this point, I thought it would never happen. All right, I don't have much to say on this one, but thanks, as always, for keeping me company at work. Parentheses, who cares about games announcements? Okay, so, some things to unpack there. Number one, I do want to say I have staunchly been listening to William Hohen's podcast as well. He actually read all my comments out on one of the recent episodes, which I was honored. He did not have to do that. But one of the funny things is they mentioned Babylon's Fall. They mentioned it on there. Like, he recommended it to his co-host and was like, there's only one other player in there. And she was like, well, I kind of want to try it out now just to see. And then, let me see. What else? He also said, same thing on the negative attitude. I want to be wrong. I don't want to be right. I don't want the terrible shit I say about video games and video game companies to ever come out to be right. I don't. It's just, I've been around long enough now that I can see certain trends, and like, everything trends more negative now. You know, we're in a real terrible state in gaming where it's the Wild West. There's nearly none as far as regulations go. Like, nearly no regulations on it. But this industry makes more money than any other industry on the planet. And nobody really looks at it as art so that they can get away with all this shit because it's just a toy company. And you're just in this weird dead space where nobody's really ready to police them, but at the same time, nobody on one side, people don't really want them to police, but because of that, they're kind of doing whatever the hell they want, and they've realized no one's going to stop them. And I want to be wrong. I don't want to say this game's going to be buggy or this game's going to be broken and turn out to be right. It's just I've seen Cyberpunk, and I can't go back from that. You know, I've seen Halo Infinite. I can't go back from that. Like, there's just too many things that I've seen that I'm like, this is some bullshit, and you can't go back. So you just end up predicting negative. I want nothing more than to be proven wrong about negative shit from now until the end of time. It's just, I'm probably not going to be.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate place that we're at with everything is you just start looking through everything with such a cynical view because of what we've seen with everything else so far. I know myself, I'm still subject to the hype of things to some degree, but at the same time, like, you can just kind of see it coming with some of these games.
You really can. And, like, it's sad. I'm probably one of the only people not in the beta test that's excited for Skull and Bones. But even that, my brain is like, you can see the writing, man. You can see it all over the walls. But every once in a while, I've just got to be hopeful and try something. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, I think that's it. And no problem keeping you company at work, buddy. Always appreciate it. And then Jason finishes off by saying, quantity leap. I'm assuming because we leap right over quality into quantity.
Yes.
I want to add a little segment to Fan Traction, if you don't mind, man.
Oh, okay.
I want to, they've been doing this on William Hooman's show. I really like it. Let's just talk a second about what we're playing right now.
Okay.
What game are you into right now? What's the number one that pops into your head that you're playing?
Devil May Cry 5. I'm finally getting through that.
Really?
Yeah, I bought 5 for the PS4 when it came out. Mm-hmm. But, as it always ends up being, other stuff comes out and it gets pushed by the wayside. And then I picked up the special edition for the PS5 because I can run it at 120 frames at, 1.25 speed. Because I'm a maniac and playing those games hyper fast.
Right.
So yeah, I actually got further than I got through the first time I played it. I think I'm about maybe halfway right now.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've been every a day off, I'll get through 1 or 2 chapters. I'm taking it as a slow roll.
Cool. That actually sounds interesting. I thought you were going to say Stardew again.
No, I mean, we're still playing Stardew Valley here and there.
But Devil May Cry is what jumped ahead.
Devil May Cry is the one that, just me time, play.
Right. So I had a couple impulse buys recently. They were cheaper. They were on sale. And one of them was a bucket list game that I've always kind of wanted to get. I never really got around to. And that was River City Ransom Underground, which is kind of a weird sequel, independent sequel to River City Ransom from the Nintendo, which is, that game from my childhood is one of the most influential games on my childhood, without a doubt. River City Ransom is. This one has that same aesthetic, but they add all these new characters and new locations and new mechanics and stuff. And I've been streaming that on Amateur Hour. But the thing that's really sucked me in, the other impulse buy, and it's actually really cheap on Steam. It's only $15 on Steam for the base game. It's a board game to video game sort of thing. There's a lot of them out there. It's called Root, ROOT. It's like a animal military fighting strategy thing where cats carry swords and shit, stuff like that.
Okay.
It's really interesting. I'm loving it. It's basically like you have the same board and the same mechanics, but you have all these factions, and the factions use all of the resources of the board, cards, and mechanics in a completely different way than the others, and they all represent a different way of like being a military. Like the cats are straight industrialization, whereas you had the birds are much more like feudal or even communistic society. You've got these otters, which are all capitalism. You've got the lizards, which are like a cult, like a spiritual cult sort of thing, and then you've got revolutionaries as well. And then in addition to that, you can actually play just a solo character that does quests in the battle and tries to win by doing quests and kind of profiting on the war. And it's one of those that, like, if it was a board game, it'd be too much for me. You know what I mean? There'd just be too much to keep track of. But as a digital game, it's like, wow, this is fun. My only problem with it is it's like super old. So like, there's a ton of people still playing it, but they're all in password protected games and not my friend. So like, it's very hard to find like online games of it. But yeah, I'm really into it. I'm really enjoying it. And that thing's kind of sucked my time in lately, while I wait for Skull and Bones to come out and disappoint me. All right. So we'll wrap that up there. We'll head to our talking point. We're going to talk about the Rockstar incursion today, and then we're going to do some odds and ends, and we're just going to have a nice, easy breezy day, guys.
Easy breezy.
Hopefully poop free. I almost had a problem there with fan traction, but it kind of subsided. If I didn't put that as a bonus, nobody knows what the shit's going on.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Cut it! We'll fix it in post! Alright. Alright, we'll be right back with our talking point.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Alright, so that brings us to our first talking point. And it's been an interesting week in gaming. Not for the usual announcement rigmarole. But instead, it turns out that Rockstar has had a hacker incursion. Somebody went in and got a bunch of GTA 6 pictures and have leaked them online to various sources anonymously. GTA says they are saddened by this. They didn't want to show it yet. Obviously, they're working on it. They can tell you definitively that they are working on it and that they will actually show what they want when the time comes. Look, GTA, I don't love Rockstar right now. Me and Rockstar are not on good terms. I am very boycotty of Rockstar at this particular juncture. That being said, they are one of the biggest gaming companies on the planet, if not the biggest. So this is kind of a big deal that we have confirmation of GTA 6, hard confirmation, and they got incurred. I didn't get to see any of the stuff though.
So
okay, add to the story.
Yeah, so it's not just photos, but there's like a video of like in-engine footage and everything like that.
Okay.
Now, they had confirmed a while ago that they were working on GTA 6, but that's really it. No sort of hard information.
I hadn't realized they had hard confirmed it, honestly. But
yeah, it was literally one of those deals to where Rockstar was like, okay, we're making GTA 6. You got us. Now shut up and let us do it. It was like one of those situations.
Right.
Yeah, with that and everything, there was still images and leaked video and everything of gameplay in engine, like very much to where it's like the checkerboard ground that it's just like default placeholder,
right?
And one of the biggest bits of backlash to this is just the fan base just getting all crazy about it, basically, because I don't know, people who don't know anything about games and development of them, I don't know how they believe the games are supposed to be made, but there was a subsect of fans who were very much like, this is atrocious. If this is what GTA 6 looks like, I'm not buying it. Shame on Rockstar for even putting anything out like this. They should delay it. Like, there's been no official announcement. All estimates have been that this game isn't coming out for another 2 to 3 years.
Right.
And that's barring any other sort of delays or anything like that. It does kind of suck for those people who've worked on the game. Because, kind of like what they alluded to, like, they wanted to show it on their terms, their way.
Right.
And in this sort of case, I don't think it was necessarily a, like, corporate jargon, corporate speak. We're trying to control the narrative. They wanted to show it when it was ready, and people kind of got a behind-the-scenes, how the sausage is made sort of situation for it. And people weren't prepared for that. So now they're, out in full force doing damage control. They've said, yes, GTA 6 is being worked on, but, who knows when you're going to get it sort of situation.
Well, a lot to unpack there. I mean, first of all, you're right. There has been, whether I was whether I had a misconception about whether it had been announced that they were working on it or not. There's definitely no dates, no times as of record for when that game is supposed to come out. I think the idea of asking them to delay a game that doesn't have a release date is a little bit ridiculous in the first place. But fans gonna be what fans gonna be. I think that yeah, it sucks. I mean, there are people working on this game. Like I said, I have a real problem with Rockstar right now, and the way they make games and the way they treat their players. That being said, there's still plenty of devs working at that company who don't necessarily who are just working there. They're just trying to make a good game, and their stuff is now out in the open when it's in rough draft. Like, you don't want to show somebody like a book before it's finished, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, only your editor.
Yeah, like, this isn't the way you want to do stuff, and yeah, that sucks. That sucks. I will say Rockstar kind of sets themselves up for this kind of shit. If you want my hot take here, I'm gonna give it. I guess this is my channel, so it's not my channel. But I guess I do all the editing, so I can do this. But
you said, "Fuck it, it's mine. I do what I want."
Look. Rockstar releases one game every fucking 10 years, and then they take that game and they milk that game like a cash cow forever. And any game that does not like make them billions and billions of dollars, they treat like shit. Namely, Red Dead Online. Which was still making them a lot of money, and they just decided to not give a shit about it. Rockstar...
They were still getting money, just not all of the money.
Rockstar is weird to me because Rockstar does not, like... They're one of the most hyped companies out there, right? Like Rockstar speaks, the whole gaming world listens. Like, they all drop to their knees and listen. But then you don't release anything for 10 years. I mean, look... Nobody should be hacking them. There shouldn't be a hacker. I'm not saying that you should be hacking companies out there or trying to like release people's hard-earned work before they do it. That being said, you only release one game every 10 years and you're like the fucking Willy Wonka of video games. What do you think that's going to right? What do you think that's going to attract? What do you think that's going to attract? It's going to attract negative people who want to get it because them getting in and hacking your shit is worse stuff to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing is there is some manner of putting a target on your back in regard to stuff like that. I don't know. I think that I really am curious as to like what the impetus for this was.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was just like an inside job, like an employee who is just, pissed or whatever, or if somebody actually like gained access to the system and got stuff, that remains to be seen. But yeah, I don't know. It does really suck though, because this is the first showing of This is the first showing of a hotly anticipated game, and it is not what they wanted it to be. And I do think it's very interesting, too, that they didn't go by way of what other video game companies do. As, like, you know, if something does get leaked, it does get, you know, hacked, accessed, you know, something like that. They either straight up ignore it, or they'll, like, try to sweep it under the rug, like, oh, yeah, well, you know, that's probably fake. And then you get one of those weird stories like 2 months before the game actually comes out and says, oh, that leaked footage that we saw a year or so ago was actually real.
You mean that Ubisoft shit where, like, they're like, oh no, it leaked again? Like, every Assassin's Creed has ever leaked
That's
2 months before they release it. Or 2 months before they release the information. Yeah,
Ubisoft is its own special kind of shenanigans in that regard.
They are very shenanigan on that. Like, every major Ubisoft title has had some sort of leaked footage, and it's always come, like, 2 months before they show it to us anyway. Yeah. So it's kind of like... I feel like they have a leak department where they're like, send it down to Ted in the leaks, man. Have him leak it to somebody. I think that
it's called marketing.
I think that one of my things, obviously, that's not this, right? Like, this isn't a Rockstar like trying to drum up support for it. I think it'll be interesting how they react to it going forward, because now, like. Okay, so maybe they were on the record hard for we're working on GTA 6. But now we've seen stuff of it. I'm wondering if they'll just like go back to not talking about it at all, or if we'll get some sort of weird announce trailer within the next year or so to kind of almost like, well, now they've seen that shittiness. Let's try and right the ship a little bit by showing something good, and they'll kind of scramble to put a trailer together.
Yeah, which, you know, honestly would be a bad move, I think, because then, you know, you get
announced trailers are always bad moves.
You get stuck in the whole cyberpunk thing to where, because, like, you know, we have this leaked footage now. It could show systems that end up being cut from the game, you know, oh, well, whatever, what happened to this? What happened to that? Even though they, like, never outright said, oh, you know, you're going to have X, Y, and Z, it's just inferred from that leaked information. You know, that's kind of a thing that they're going to have to watch out for here now too. Yeah. But like from where they're at, I don't know. I do think that they very well might end up. I think that they're probably going to put a trailer out, but I think that would not be great for them, because at that point, then it kind of undermines their whole argument of, wow, we're really sorry, you know, having this come out the way it did, and then they just look like every other company out there, basically.
I think Rockstar is in a weird position here, and if I can get into it, I think that, first of all, Rockstar's been doing the cyberpunk thing for 20 years. Yeah, like since GTA 3, they've been kind of doing the cyberpunk thing, which is take a really long time to make a game, announce it way far ahead of schedule. The only difference is somehow the game always seems to live up to the hype, at least to the people's opinions who play it. Red Dead being the last one that they took forever to get that sucker out. It came out, and it actually was like a really great game. And look, I'll sing their praises, man. They make good games. I'm not saying they don't make good games. There's very few bugs in that. Well, there's usually a lot of meme bugs, but like I didn't notice one bug in Red Dead Redemption 2. Not one. It wasn't like widespread terror everywhere, you know, other than the horse starting on fire one, if I recall correctly. But like they tend to live up to the hype. These are Game of the Year contenders every time that they come out. They do make good games. My problem with Rockstar is not the quality of the games they release. It's the support that they give to the games after release. That being said, we're now entering a very strange place because we're in a post-cyberpunk world now. Every game that they've released was pre-cyberpunk world, where people were like, it's going to be the best game ever. Now everybody, and it's not just me, gaming people as a whole look at things a little bit more cynically right now. And you've got now this GTA 6, like, if it's not going to knock your socks off, I think they're going to be in some trouble. Like, even if it's a, like, quality game, if it doesn't, like, set the world on fire, is it going to, you know what I mean? Are we going to have another Cyberpunk on our hands when the time comes?
Yeah, I don't know. I think GTA 6, I mean, if they can't do GTA right, then, you know, at this point, what is Rockstar even doing? Right. I feel like they've got a square head on their shoulders, and especially now with testing the waters with live service for the past, 8 years, I think that they have a pretty firm handle on all of that stuff.
But they don't do it very well. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of issues with it. Yeah. It's not even Red Dead. The GTA 5. Like, okay, so Red Dead didn't get any support. They got shit support. They just got weird different hats and clothing options. Mm-hmm. There's only like 2 really major game-changing updates there. But on the GTA 5, the GTA 5 side, I was messed up because it was gonna kind of rhyme. That's like a guy sentence run. They had a lot of griefing issues with that. Like, if you streamed GTA 5, they had a terrible network setup where, like, if you jumped from a server to a different server, anybody could follow you to that server. Whereas Red Dead didn't do that. So you had a lot of less griefing. If somebody was chasing me around because I was streaming Red Dead, I could just switch servers and they couldn't find me again. So, like, with GTA 5, it's not that. You could just click that player and follow them into their whatever, and then stream snipe the crap out of them. So that was a huge problem. There was a ton of griefing issues with GTA 5, and that's their most popular money maker. You know, so I think they're actually. And you remember how long it took to get both of those off the ground? Like, when GTA 5 released, their multiplayer wasn't even out. When it came out, it was a buggy, broken mess. Yeah. And Red Dead was basically the same. It didn't come out with the game. When it did come out, it didn't have anything in it. Like, there was nothing to do whatsoever. It was just a big, wide-open landscape of nothing that you could basically ride a horse through. So they don't really do online well. I fear that they're going to move more into that space because that's where they've made their money, but they've only made that money because of a loyal fan base that might not go with them if the same shit is there, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the same time, too, what is this game gonna be? Is it gonna be like primarily based around that live service multiplayer, or is it just going to have that straight up and down story mode and then just tack on that, you know, multiplayer online aspect at the end? Right. But I mean, at the same time, you know, we're so early on in the development of this game. Like, at this point, it's all just speculation, and you know, we have some of that leaked footage to maybe gain some insight as to what it's gonna be. But that's the problem. To bring it back full circle, like, you know, we can only make inferences based off of what we've seen in leaked footage that's not even final yet on a game that's going to be coming out in like 3 years.
3, maybe 4 years, maybe more. And what's crazy to me is that company has, what, 4 or 5 teams? 5 full teams, full studios even? Why are they're only ever working on one game?
One game.
Like, why? Like, that kind of stuff blows me away with that company. But is there anything more you have to add to this? I mean,
no.
Let's hit odds and ends. It might be a quick show today, but I got some troubles anyway. So let's go ahead and hit odds and ends and see what happens. All right, we'll be back in a second with odds and ends.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to our final segment, and that is odds and ends. This is the place where we collect smaller video gaming news stories that we want to tell you about, we want to riff about, we just want to, you know, get it out there in the ether, but they don't necessarily deserve a full talking point. So yeah, I got 4 this week, and Neil's only got 2. I'm kind of excited that I actually beat him for once. And so I'm going to get into it. I'm going to go with my biggest one first, I think, is the way I should start. Twitch. Twitch is doing some shady shit. And while a lot of people aren't really going to care about this, I'm going to tell you why you should. Twitch has removed they've put a huge asterisk next to their most profitable split. Now, the way it works is, with Twitch is, there are these certain levels, okay, when you start streaming. As you go up levels, these levels restrict you slightly more, but they allows you to put ads into your stream, and that allows you to get a split of the ad revenue. That's how Twitch streamers make money. It starts real low at I think 10.90 or something like that, and it goes all the way up to the streamer getting 70, Twitch getting 30. However, that now has a caveat where it's on the first $20,000 made, or 20,000, 30,000, maybe the first 100, I don't know, but still, there's an amount where it caps, and then it switches you automatically back down to the 50-50. Now look, I know this is old man gaming, so we got a lot of old man listeners who are out there well, those entitled sons of bitches making millions of dollars off gaming can be knocked down a peg. Look, I'm not saying I don't smile at the idea of Ninja making less money. That being said, this is a problem, and let me tell you why this is a problem. Because you're going to start seeing more of this. This is a sliding slope, okay? And right now they're only hurting those guys at the top, and that's fine. But they're the only streaming service. Facebook Gaming just announced that they're not going to be a thing anymore. Mixer went down years ago, and it sold itself to Facebook Gaming. There is no real streaming service other than YouTube, which is kind of its own thing, to rival Twitch. Twitch is, if you want just game streaming, 100%. With other things, they've got a lot of weird shit on there as well, but just streaming, Twitch is the only place to go. Here's the problem, guys. When there is a thing that is the only thing of a thing, they get to do whatever they want. They get to pay you whatever they want. They get to take away whatever resources they want. They get to give you as little support as they want. And this is just the beginning step of that. Sure, it's hurting people you don't necessarily care about, people who maybe you want them to be hurt a little bit more. I get that. But in the end, this also means that because of this, everybody's going to eventually get hurt more. And that's not good. It's not good for gaming as a whole, which thrives off the streaming industry right now. It is a huge moneymaker for gaming. It allows to build hype. It allows to build pre-sales and pre-orders. This is something that, a lot of these game companies put those games in the hands of high-ranking Twitch streamers ahead of time to build up stuff. This hurts gaming as a whole. It really does. And I think we need a viable option other than Twitch. It's also one of the reasons I don't stream on Twitch anymore. I stream almost exclusively on YouTube.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, too. You kind of hit the nail on the head with that. The only real other viable option is YouTube, but YouTube does not really care about the gaming because it makes all of its money from, the rest of YouTube.
Yeah.
It just does the thing on the side. It's not living and dying by gaming.
No.
Content.
I mean, it wants to have something that everybody has. That's why they've got the YouTube Shorts, which are basically like a substitute for TikTok. You've got the streaming service through YouTube, which, I'm not going to lie, I actually like the way the streaming service on YouTube works better than Twitch. But that's why they've got the streaming for that. They want to be able to do anything another media can do, basically, which I get. And they do make their money off that, but it's still not really a viable option. Honestly, as a person who streams a lot on YouTube, I get almost all of my views for the streams on the back end. I don't get them when I'm live usually. Whereas Twitch, you get them when they're live, or you don't really get them at all. Right. Twitch is engineered for live stuff. Even their algorithm puts forth stuff that's live. It doesn't it doesn't show you old stuff first. You have to kind of dig for old stuff. Whereas YouTube is all about showing you whatever the fuck it wants. And it doesn't care whether it's live. It doesn't care whether it's a short. It doesn't care whether it's a show. It's just going to throw it at you. I think that, yeah, we need a viable option other than Twitch. Like, it's a space that is unrivaled. It's unchecked. And, you know, we talk about this a lot on the show. We've talked about it mostly when it comes to Microsoft's unending hunger to buy all game companies. But this is the same thing. And what's crazy to me about this is no one's talking about this. The fact that Twitch literally has cornered the market on streaming. There is nowhere else to go to really stream your game. Not publicly, anyway. So I'm kind of surprised that nobody's been like, hey, how is this not an antitrust thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't even know that was a thing until you had mentioned it whenever we were talking about this story before we started recording. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, when you're the only name in town for anything, you basically get to do whatever you want to do. That's the reason why internet companies suck and everything else out there sucks. Yeah,
that's exactly right. I mean, there's 2 internet companies where I live. They both suck. And that's how it works. Until you get more, like, until you get options, it just sucks. If I'm the only guy selling apples, I get to tell you, and I'm the only place you can get apples, then I get to decide the cost of apples, and that's not good. It's not good, just in general, you know? I think this is the first sign of Twitch really cracking down on stuff. And that makes me nervous for anybody who's a Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done with that one.
So did you want to do another one? Or
yeah, I can do another one. I got a really dumb one.
Yay!
Actually, I've got like 3 dumb ones, to be honest. They're all dumb. This one is kind of like baffling to me on all levels, and I don't know if I agree with it, honestly. But the newest FIFA 23, will be featuring Ted Lasso, fictional coach character from the very popular Apple Plus TV show, and played by Jason Sudeikis. Ted Lasso and AFC Richmond, which I think is a fictional team. I'm not 100% sure on that. But he's going to be the cover guy on it. I don't know if I can get behind this. I think that there's something almost... it's almost disrespectful to actual, like, soccer... Well, not football. Sorry, British fans. To actual football people. People who play, coaches to play, that the game, the, like, number one game worldwide that features your sport has a fictional American dude on it. I don't know. This is really weird to me, and I don't know. I'm not on board. How do you feel about it? I don't know.
I
think it's weird.
Know nothing about sports at all in general.
Okay.
So,
I've still given you all the context things here.
I was going to say,
you can still make a comment.
It is a little odd, though, like, that they would choose to have a fictional individual.
Yeah.
That'd be like putting frickin' Uncle Rico on the cover of Madden.
Right, yeah. No, it's very strange to me. We're putting a fictional... Plus, like, FIFA, football, like, is worldwide. There are hundreds of teams and star players and star coaches. Like, why? Like, why are we picking a fictional character for it? Like, I don't know. If I was a player or a coach in the actual league, I'd be a little bit offended by this. Like, I just would. Like, this is like you're being represented. This would be like if you did a championship boxing game and put Rocky on the cover. Like, it doesn't make sense, you know? It's a fictional character. It's not real, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was some sort of brand deal.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
I know why they're doing it. They're definitely doing it for money. Ted Lasso is extremely popular right now. makes sense money wise, but like I don't know, if I was a real football fan, I'd be a little bit pissed about that. All right, you can go now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do one, and
do one.
I guess we get a bonus Babylon's Fall story. So apparently,
William Owen will be so excited.
GameStop is straight up discontinuing sales of the game, like so much so that they are marking them for destruction. So they aren't even going to try to sell copies of the game. They figured they'd just cut their losses and throw them away. And apparently, one Reddit user has encouraged people to go into GameStops and literally just ask for a copy of the game for free. And from what I understand, it has actually had some success.
I think that I do have kind of a problem there. And look, Babylon's Fall, yeah, you tried, you shot, you missed. I get that. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be bad, but man, we live in a world with like real problem with game preservation or gameplay. I think we've talked about it a couple of times, but this brings it up again. Upstairs right now on my gaming shelf, and obviously I don't buy actual games anymore because I'm a PC guy now, but on my gaming shelf, I have an Xbox copy of the original Destiny, an Xbox 360 copy of the original Destiny. I have an Xbox One copy of Anthem. I can't even play them. If I wanted to play these games, I cannot. I could play Anthem, but I'm not going to be able to for much longer. I can't play Destiny. If you plug that in, it just tells you this game isn't on anymore. You can't sell those things, and it's kind of obnoxious because like you could like I can't give these to my daughter one day. I can't be like, I can't tell her about Anthem and be like, there's this really cool game, and she'll be like, oh, can I play? No, you can't. They just decided to not do it anymore. I feel like there's no game preservation. There's no way to preserve these things anymore, and that makes me very sad. I kind of feel like they should at least like turn it loose to the fans, you know?
The idea of you bequeathing a copy of Anthem to your daughter in like your will or something like that.
You can do nothing with this.
Here is my prized possession, one copy of Anthem.
Anthem. I think I'm the only person in the world who had fun with that game. I swear to God. I love that game. I wish I could play that game with her at some point. It's not going to happen. Those servers will be shut down long before that. I think that, like, but that's still a bummer. You know, I feel like if they turned it loose, at least some fans could get it up on a private server, you know, or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. They gotta find a way to start preserving these like games as service games because they're just like lost to time, and like we can't really. It's definitely a hit against us that this is art. You know what I mean? Like in the age old war of is video games a toy or is video games art? It hurts us when we have to say, well, some of these things just go away and never come back.
It's the equivalent of going into a museum and, you know, having the art displays here, but like little disclaimers on them saying 10 years from now we're just going to throw this in the trash.
We're just going to throw it away. Or like hey, after 200 people read this book, we burn it. You know what I mean? Like you know, we have to preserve things. If we don't preserve these things, if we don't find a way to preserve these things, how can we possibly say they were important to us, you know, as a culture? And if we can't say that they're important to us, it's not art. It's not a part of our culture, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
All right, so should I do another one now, or should you do another one?
Yeah, go ahead and do another one.
All right, this one's dumb, and it's anti-Kojima, so strap the fucking...
Oh, no. Are you about to steal mine?
Steal one? Is it the watch?
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, you want to do it then? I'll let you do it because it's your. Because I got another one, so you do it. You go ahead and do it.
All right. Well, apparently Hideo Kojima and NASA are partnering up to make a watch with the watch brand Anicorn. This is a logical pairing as Kojima is a space cadet. The fact that you put the word logical in the sentence means that maybe I shouldn't have let you do this one and should have done it myself.
I don't even like it as a joke, Neil. This is the dumbest shit.
It's the space cadet thing with NASA. You don't appreciate art.
It's insane. Oh, I see. He's a space cadet. I thought you were saying... you know what? Here's what's sad. Here's what's sad. He's so pretentious. I just thought that I didn't hear about it, and he was an actual, somehow, like, an actual space astronaut, like, certified as an astronaut. That's what I thought. That's how pretentious that guy is. Kojima, hey man, I'm gonna talk to you for a second, okay? You make video games. Did you forget about that somewhere along the way with the podcasts and the fucking squids from the sky and the watches and everything else? You make video games, and might I say so, subpar games at that. Yeah, that's right, Internet. Sub-fucking-par. He's a subpar writer and a subpar developer. That's the way it is.
Clutching.
He has a lot of good ideas that he weighs down with his fucking ego. That being said, Hideo, seriously, bro, make video games. That's what you were supposed to do. I am so sick of this dude getting on all my things and announcing podcasts and watches and fucking whatever else, man. I can't wait for the Hideo Kojima shoe and clothing line right before he does his own line of perfumes and his own line of condoms. Like, I don't need that shit. Well, I don't need anything from Hideo Kojima, but man, your fans need games. Make games. Make games. You're a game maker, you fucking twit. Oh. You know what bothered me about this, Neil? I'm going to get personal for a second. Well, one thing that bothers me about this, and look, man, I'm not saying Hideo Kojima did not work to get where he is. He definitely did. I'm not saying he didn't. That being said, I am a guy who would kill to be in his position, to have gotten to have ascended to a level to where you are a game designer, a game designer that is revered worldwide. And what are you doing with it? You are squandering it on stupid other shit, man. That's what bothers me about it. Like, same with Kanye West. Just make music, man. Nobody gives a shit about your shoes. It just bothers me. Like, if I had, like, I don't even like his games, and if I had 1/5 of his talent, like, I wouldn't be making a fucking watch, man. I'd be making games, man. Okay. All right, that's my rant. Rant over.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I got one left then, right?
Yeah.
This one kind of pisses me off. I don't know if it'll piss you off as much as I do, but it was announced recently that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands has been confirmed as a franchise going forward. It will be its own franchise of games. It will get a sequel, possibly its own spin-off somehow. I don't know how that would work, but...
a spin-off.
That's what I'm saying. But that it has been... quote-unquote a major victory for 2K Games in the sales department, and it has been big enough that it has deemed it to be more games going forward. Okay, look. I know Neil likes Wonderlands, and I don't fault him for it. Okay, and I don't fault anybody out there who does like Wonderlands, because if you play Wonderlands at the very beginning, it's a fun game. It's a good game. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem is, though, is that they do the same stuff that they do with all the other Borderlands, and they just kind of, like, toss away their players like nothing. If you go online right now, and you go to all the major Borderlands people, like Killer 6, and I can't remember any of the other guys' names for whatever fucking reason, but there's a lot of them. None of them are really playing Borderlands anymore. They've all switched back to something else, because this game... ends up getting broken at some point, or rotten, or shitty. I'm not happy about that. I don't think that's a major victory. Like, great, you sold a lot of copies, but it's not a major victory that 9 out of 10 of your most diehard fans don't like it. Like, it's not a major victory. And what bothers me so much is Wonderlands had the potential to be the perfect Borderlands game, and I think they really fucking fucked it up at the end. So, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on the subject, I guess.
I think part of the reason why it did so well is it was an evolution of the Borderlands formula. The mixing and matching of your custom classes, having the ability to have a melee build is actually viable, stuff like that. I think what they're conflating the success with their innovation with the success of Tiny Tina's as a whole.
Here's
I did enjoy my time with it, but at the same time, for me, it just felt like Borderlands 3.5.
Well, and that's true. I will say there's a lot of things they did right with Wonderlands. I won't argue that. I love the mixing and matching, but the problem is that they ended up in the same spot that they were in with Borderlands 3. There's only one viable build in that game, and that's it. You kind of stumbled on running it. That's one of the problems. The melee builds really aren't that viable in the end, and that's something that gets me. It's like, yeah, you did all these really cool things, but you never fixed the core problem, which was if you run any builds you want, you're probably not going to be able to see everything that game has to offer, and that's annoying. Like you're going to be able to see all of the story, right? Whatever build you play, you'll be able to get through all the story relatively easily. But if you want to do everything that game has to offer, you have to refine your build to be like one or two things. And that was the big problem that everybody had with Borderlands 3. That was the biggest issue, was that the meta always gets refined into one fucking thing. And then they overcompensate, and it just bounces back and forth to what that thing is. And that's something that, irritates me. It's like, if I can't experience the entire... And it's one of the reasons I put it down, is if I can't experience everything your game has to offer with any build I make that's... not completely illogical, obviously, but any rational build I make, why am I playing the fucking game? And that's something, all those choices become illusion at that point.
Right.
And yes, there's still choices for people who are just going to play through the storyline and put down the game, and that's more power to them. I'm not saying that's not great. But for a player who's a completionist, who wants to play that game from start to finish and see everything the game has to offer, all the levels, all the chaos levels, all that shit, at that point, choice is an illusion, because you can only play the game a certain way. And that's, for me, the fun of Borderlands is the build, and if the build is locked to one or two things, then that's not fun anymore, So I don't know. I think that's a big problem I have, is it's an illusion of choice. It's an illusion of more choice. You can give us 1,000 options. If only one of them works, you're not giving us any.
Right.
All right, well, that's it for my odds and ends. Why don't we go to plugs, wrap this show a little bit early?
Works for me.
All right. We'll be right back with some shameless self-promotion.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show and the aforementioned shameless self-promotion. Neil, what would you like to plug this week?
Well, I am on OMG, the Upper Hand. I don't know why I almost called it OMGW.
You got my virus.
I apparently got your virus. Oh, I got some sort of virus going on there right now. That's for sure.
I have to use that as a bonus or an opening. So we've mentioned it too much.
As I sit here currently, I am in physical pain right now. Doing that, and then we did do a Halo stream recently where I multiple times carried both Kayla and Zach on my back while they just talked about stupid shit.
Well, we carried his personality through entertaining stuff.
That's what we're going with.
Yeah, I wish the audio had been better on that. I think it's one of our best streams ever, to be honest. By the way, there's a game we have to stream, the three of us. We have to. It's only $5 on Steam. We have to stream it somehow. I have to.
What is it?
Stick Fight.
Stick Fight?
I played it with my wife and daughter. I guess I'll plug it. The prelude going forward will be Stick Fight for 3 episodes with my whole family. It's dumb, amazing fun. for just like however much long you play. You could get easily an hour and a half out of just killing each other and then never play it again, and it'd be worth the $5. Other than that, yeah, please watch UHW. It comes out on the Axiom Games LLC channel on Saturdays. Then it comes out here on probably Fridays now because we're switching up some scheduling. That being said, I am also doing a new thing, which I talked about at the beginning of the show. I am doing audio narration for a TTRPG playthrough of The Last Tea Shop by Wizard's Respite. I will be posting that on the channel on Thursdays alongside his written article on it. Please go to his written stuff too. It's just as good. It's great to read it in person. He also does all the pictures and whatnot that I use in the video. Trying to think about other plugs. Me and Neil are going to do a Let's Play soon. I want to. I'm going to force him to. It's going to happen.
I know. I just literally need to find out what happened with my EA thing.
We're trying to play a way out, but EA's parody with
Long
Game Pass
story
sucks.
short, I showed. I think I read to you what it said, but for some reason I tried to download the EA thing through Game Pass, and when it tried to link my account to reset my email address, it said like null@disabled.com, which is like not my email address. So I'm gonna have to just like try to reinstall it and try that again.
Yeah, so we're going to try. Otherwise, we might play something else. I don't know. We're still looking for it. We want to play A Way Out. If we can't do that, we'll do something else, I think. That'll be coming soon at some point, I think. And then I'm still streaming Amateur Hour. We're doing River City Ransom Underground, which is great for me. I love that fucking game. I'm still doing State of Decay and the Forever communities. This week, we're going to do Daybreak with Jason and Danny, which should be a lot of fun, which is like a horde mode. And then I think I'm going to do... Well, that would have already happened. All of this would have already happened if you're watching this. So, I think I'm done plugging. Look, guys, check out all of our stuff. I appreciate you. If you're one of the people who came here and listened to all of this from the TTRPG community, I appreciate you. Of course, only watch or listen to content from us that you want to. I don't require... anybody I'm not gonna plug it, make you read it. Just watch what you want to watch, guys. And then yeah, we will see you guys next week. You can reach us on Facebook at OmegaGamingDH, on Twitter at OmegaGaming9. You can join our Discord, links in the description below. You can influence us in all of our shows from there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, keep watching it. We'll keep making it. See you guys next time. Alright, I am going to have kind of a weird rigmarole at the beginning. Just bear with me, because I don't know if you noticed that kind of different video that I posted on Friday.
Yeah, I saw that. I meant to message you about that.
Yeah, so Wizard's Respite is a guy. He's the guy who reviewed Upper Hand for us, the Twitter guy, and he's kind of a big TTRPG guy. And basically, he released this playthrough. It's from a game. Did you listen to it?
I listened to some of it.
Okay. Some of it. It's only 6 minutes. Jesus.
No.
Like, come on, man. Some of it. 6 minutes, man.
I got in like 2.5, 3 minutes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take that as a critical review. I'm going to have to. It's a 6-minute video and you listen to 3 minutes of it. I'm going to have to say you didn't enjoy it.